Hello everyone, it's Melissa and I am back today with another project share. This one is to document my son losing his last tooth. Ugh, guys, it's hard. So I started out like I normally do by pulling from my product jar, and so far you see I have flare pulled, pattern paper, sewing, stitching, tabs, wood veneer, clips, and punches. And we're going to go ahead and get started. This is a 12 by 12 layout. And you guys know I hardly ever print in black and white. And so I always use my photos to dictate the paper I'm going to use. This happens to be some Disney paper from a line called Sandy Lion. Not sure, but I'm going to start off by cutting down my photo, which I originally printed 4 by 6. And I'm going to kind of left orientate this layout. So I'm going to mount this on white. I've already cut it down. And like I mentioned, I always use the designers that make the paper, manufacturers that make the paper, and, you know, match it as best as I can, pull colors from my photo, and that is always fun for me. So kind of have it all matchy-matchy. So I decided I was going to stamp my title, and to do that I pulled my Malia alphabet upper and lowercase stamp set from Elise Studio, and the title is going to be Last Tooth Lost. Excuse me. I am going to apologize for my scratchy voice here. I'm getting over a cold. So, ugh. Anyways, so, you know, I've showed you in the past, when I stamp on a layout itself, I always pull my Stampin' Up! Stamparatus because it's got 2 flat edges on the other sides and makes for very easy stamping. You see there I pulled some coordinating papers from my stash, just old scraps and whatnot, that I plan to use to finish putting together this layout. So I'm going to start on the right and make my way over, and really I'm going to focus on taking my time. I have the acetate grid sheet there to help me line up my letters, and I will tell you, more often than not I have screwed up titles because I'm rushing and I'm not giving myself the time that is needed to make sure the letters are lined up, my spacing is accurate, it's like I want it to be, and number one, I don't misspell anything because that has happened more times than I'd like to admit. So, yeah, I'm not going to make you watch me do this whole thing. You can see I'm just moving along there, and each time lining it up and stamping it. I'm using a black Memento ink, and there it is. So that's a really cute font. I use it often. I like it. So on the right side of the layout, going vertical, I'm going to add a blue paper from my stash, a black paper from my stash, and eventually I'll adhere that mustardy yellow. Like I mentioned, this is a Disney paper. I haven't been to Disney in God knows how long, so probably it's been in my stash for quite some time. I'm going to cut this down. You guys, I really kind of sticking with the same thing, and I'll say it again. I've said it before, but you know, people comment on my video and message me saying that, you know, a lot of my layouts look the same. I don't care. I am busting out projects and I like the way they look. I am loving layering, using just scraps of paper and tucking them behind. It doesn't bother me one bit. It's, you know, what's making my mojo flow right now, and I'm gonna roll with it. So I am sorry if you feel like my pages are all looking a bit the same, but I disagree. So anyway, you see I have a red sheet of paper, and eventually I will pull some yellow. I also have pulled out my Vicky Bouton ephemera pack. You guys know I'm making my way through that. They're just some bits that I love. So that actual yellow label, that is actually from her ephemera pack, and eventually I'll use another piece, but I'm going to cut that in half because I want to utilize that on both sides of my page. Now, the other reason why I didn't print this photo in black is because I wanted the significance of remembering that my son in his hand, I don't know if you can tell from the photo, he is holding his little tooth fairy bag, and it's blue and it's got, you know, a tooth fairy pouch written on it and a tooth and felt. I didn't want to lose the integrity of that bag and the memory of how cute it was and the last time we're using it. So anyways, so I'm punching out this frame. I'm going to use the black top side, and I'm actually going to save the bottom side. I don't remember what it says, but it has some fun words on it. So let's see, you see that is just a cut up piece of paper sack. It has white chevron on it. I'm going to flip it over to utilize the full pattern since I don't plan on tucking anything in there. I just more wanted to bring it in for the craft color, and I liked the rounded edge. It has on there, it's got like a pinking edge cut on the top. Maybe in the close-ups you'll get a better look, but seriously, that is just a scrap from a bag I kept. I don't even know why, but obviously I loved it. So, yeah, I have pretty much all the bits there that I want to use on this page. One of the things to take note is that I have right here some washi tape. It's from Alta New. It's black polka dot, or white with black polka dot, sorry. And I used, that's leftover bits from something I used not long ago, and I want to get it out of my stash. So that's what we're going to do today. I have it just on a little laminated grid paper there so it doesn't lose its stick. So what I was just showing you there was a new stamp set for my stash. I gave myself a little treat, and I bought from Ellie Studio their latest release. It's called Everyday Tab Stamp Set. It comes with some, doesn't come with, you have to purchase matching dies, sorry. And so I love the two little tabs there. So one of my pulls from my product jar was tabs. So in fact, I'm going to eventually stamp two of these, but what you see me doing now is stamping one of them in black on some white, and then I'm going to pull one of my Memento blue inks that I thought matched really well with the blue in this paper. I want to say it's a Danube blue, and I'm going to stamp Special Moment there, and I really like that. So cute. And I am going to put my stamps here away for a second before they get lost. Eventually I'll stamp and cut another one, just a different one. So there you see I've done that. And I'm going to, oh, I've added my journaling with my typewriter. You know, it's a little wonky, turns out a little wonky, but quite honestly, I don't care. Things that used to bother me years ago don't anymore. And I think that is why I have become a much quicker scrapper. I have been able to bust out projects faster, not so nitpicky about every little detail. I used to be that way, you guys. It was so frustrating. It would take me like 3 days to do one page. And now it takes me 2 hours, basically. So, yeah, I kind of am happy about this new little me because the other version was just taking up too much of my damn time. So, yeah, I'm going to start assembling my layers here because, you know, nothing's more frustrating than not having anything glued together because, ugh. Oh, and have to use tweezers because I cut my nails super short and painted them last night, and now I can't pick anything up. Yeah, let me know that you can relate, please, because, oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. So, let's see. I'm going to start gluing stuff down, and that's going to make things a lot easier for me. I decided I was going to use that Alta New wide washi tape as kind of a background element to make it look a little bit like mixed media, maybe? I don't know. Just for another layer. And what better time to use it? Black and white polka dots on this page. Yeah, it was going great. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start putting the layers together, starting with that Vicki Boutin label. I'm not going to stamp anything on it, just using it for color, and I liked the break in the rectangles, you know, the straight lines, I guess is what I want to say. I liked the break. Same reason why I brought in that paper bag. It gave it a nice oval to the top. That's the same exact reason why I'm liking that label, is just for a break in the straight edges. I do that quite a bit. Eventually, you'll see I'll bring in some circles, do that as well. And yeah, so I am being conscious that I have to add a clip to this page. I mean, I don't have to, but you know how I roll with that product jar. So I have a clip down there that I'll eventually sew onto the page, hand stitch on there. This is an old Project Life card from my stash. I thought my page needed a little more yellow. You don't see me doing it on camera, but I do pull my EK Success postage border punch, and I use that on those 2 pieces of yellow. You might be able to see it now in the photos. I'm stamping another tab with some craft Stampin' Up ink, and on that tab I'm going to stamp Big Smiles. That's the same stamp set I mentioned earlier. It's called Everyday Tabs from Ellie Studio. I'm actually going to use the die as well. The other thing you saw that I briefly passed over, oh, you see me, I've stapled those 2 pieces on there with my stapler. From the Studio L2E, I don't know if this company is still in business, I apologize, but I stamped the tooth from one of the planner kits. I stamped it in white, I cut it out, fussy cut it out, and glued it on that matching navy paper that I used on one of the edges there. I pulled flare from my product jar, so essentially I'm going to add my per usual an epoxy dot. This one happens to be a 1/2 inch size. And so I'm actually going to fussy cut that out and glue it onto my very last silver framed rimmed, I don't even know what it is, but they don't make them anymore. I want to say it's from Making Memories of something from like eons ago. I also used my circle punch from Allie Edwards. I have some printables and it says Embrace Today, and that's in a brown as well. You see I've added some wood veneer stars from my stash. You can see here the postage on those 2 yellow Project Life cards. I love that. I used some red to sew down that clip. I mentioned that I stapled on those 2 tabs, and that's a wrap, you guys. If you love this video, I would love a thumbs up. I would love for you to subscribe as well. And I will put my links to my social media sites at Instagram and Facebook in the description box below. Again, subscribe and follow me at those other places. Thank you. Bye.